Page 249, this is the one at the top of the page, the improvisation study. And the background and everything looks different here than the other lessons in this series, because as I was editing this, I discovered an error in it, and I can't put it up with an error like it was a big error. So I'm re-recording it a year after I'd recorded the first one, because I recorded all the lessons for book 1 last year. And I'm doing all the lessons for book 2 this year, but I'll upload them next year. Everything's usually done a year in advance. So I have to redo this so that everything looks different, but hopefully the instruction will be okay. Hopefully. The background I use is actually intentional, and I'll explain that someday. Let's talk about this study. It's in 4 sharps, so it's either in E major or C sharp minor. Those are the 2 keys with 4 sharps in them. Well, it's kind of important we know what it is because they're using the chord symbols, and those are in relation to the key. A 1 chord in E major is not like a 1 chord in C sharp minor. This happens to be in the key of E major. I'll just tell you that. So the first thing we need to do is get the melody. It's in common time with a pickup beat here. 2, 3. And I use the second finger on these because I like to keep my hand out here. You can use thumb. You can come up here if you want to. I really don't care, but I do that. After the repeat. 1, then 2. And again, I use second finger. You can use thumb if you want to. I don't care. And then the last few measures. And then here. Okay, so that's the melody, and it is the E major. Now, what are the chords? Well, a 1 chord is here. A 5, 6, 5. That's a 5, 7 in this arrangement. Remember, it's a 5 and a 6 interval, so it's that. And a 1 in measure 6. It's a 2 chord, which is here, but they want the 6, the interval of a 6th. And this is where I screwed up. I gave you the wrong inversion, so I got to fix it. Now that would be this one. It's first inversion. Now whether you play it down here or up here, I don't know. I mean, here you're kind of in the way because the melody's playing that note, so you might have to come down here. But that's okay. And this is where I messed up because I got confused. The interval of a 6th we're talking about here to here. That's an interval of a 6th. This interval is a 3rd, and we don't put in the thirds as the little numbers. We don't need them. It's understood. If I went to this interval, put this here, second version, there's an interval of a 4th and a 6th. That would be the 6-4. If it said a 2, 6, 4, that would be this interval. But we don't want this one. We want this inversion. And then the 5, 7 in root position. Well, again, E here. Because you take a 5 chord and add the minor 7. That's a 5, 7 in root position. So I'm coming from here to here. And then a 1. And how you finger them? Figure it out. I just don't want to move the hand around, so I finger it that way. If you want to finger it a different way, I really don't care. I can't see what you're doing, so it doesn't matter to me. But your teacher might think. Then we put the hands together. I just want to hear the harmony here. Here. I get off at here because I need it here. I don't want to be down here. This is too low. It just gets bluck. So I'm up here so it isn't bluck yet. I'll do that later. Here. That, but right now let's go on. Now here's the 2. It's a 2 with the A on the bottom here. So I'm going from here. Here. Then the 5, 7 in root position. Then a 1. And going on. 5, 7 in root position here. Remember, 1. That's sort of what the chords are. I don't like playing block. They're telling you to play block chords. Yucko. I would do something, maybe a walking. Repeat that. I just make up the pattern for the left hand on the fly because y'all had to play a note on every beat. You know, I'd just whatever. I could do that. Whatever. Now I want you to transpose this to F major. So we're going to go from E major up a half step to F major. A couple ways of doing it. It's good to know both ways, but whichever. One way is to think, okay, I'm going up a half step. I'm just going to take every note in the music up a half step. So instead of a B, it's going to be a C. Instead of an E, it's going to be an F. On whatever black keys, well, it's up a half step, so I don't know. So I'm just going to go here. F major, F, B. Instead of an A, it's a B flat. Instead of a D, actually it's a D sharp. Instead of a D sharp, it's an E. And here, instead of a B, it's a C. Instead of an E, it's an F. I'm just going up a half step. Instead of a G sharp, it's going to be an A. You take a half step. I think it's easier if you think about the key. I'm going from E to F major. So I'm just going to go up one note in the staff, one note from a B to a C or from an E to an F, whatever, and I'm going to play in the key of F major. F major is all the white keys except for the B flats. So I'm just going to play all white keys except for the B flats. So here, going on is here. And then at the end is here. Instead of a G, it's an A. I just find it easier to do that. I just think about the key I'm playing in, and I play the notes in that key. But I want you to understand there's more than one way of transposing, and sometimes the other way works better. Another way we can do it, just for kicks and giggles, is once you figure out the first note, you can use the intervals in the music to tell you the rest. But you play in the key, again, in F major. So we're going to use white keys except for the B flats. So in here, I'm here. Once I have my first note, I think here, in the music, the next note is a fourth up. I go a fourth up. Up a second, down a second, down a second, down a second, down a second. Then up a seventh here, and that's down a fifth, and then up a sixth, down a fifth. See, I'm thinking intervals in the music, and I'm going that interval in the keyboard, but I'm playing in the key of F major. Another way of doing it. Then the chords for F major, one chord, 5/7, and 5/6/5. Okay. And then the 2 would be here, and if I do this inversion, that is a 6/4. That's not what they want. They want the 6. So I got to do this inversion. That's a 3 and a 6. See? So I'm doing that. This is on the bottom, so I'll go down. And then the 5/7 chord in root position, well, in key of F, 5 is here, so that's the 5/7 in root position, and then the 1. Then we just do it. So let's see. I don't want to play block chords. I'm doing something. Here, I'm still second. Which is here, but again we want the B flat on the bottom, down here. So as I go along. Whatever the pattern you want to do, I don't care. Do the Alberti bass. Just have some fun with it. The more you experiment and play around with this, the actual more experience that you get at doing these kinds of things. And in time, it pays off.